You stand in the heart of Dubai, beneath a sky shimmering with golden city lights. The air is thick with the scent of wealth, exotic perfumes, expensive cigars, the unmistakable tang of power. Engines roar in the distance, growing louder, closer. Suddenly, a convoy of supercars races, limited editions, their headlights slicing through the night like lightning. The hum of power vibrates through your chest, the silent signal that you are on the edge of a world very few ever get to see. Then, without warning, a man in a perfectly tailored black suit steps toward you. He hands you an envelope, heavy, wax-sealed, embossed with a symbol you don't recognize. You break the seal. Inside, a single line of text. You are invited. Al Muhayyar Palace. Tonight. No explanation. No sender. Just an address and an expectation. You arrive at the palace. The towering golden gates glide open without a sound, revealing a structure so opulent it seems almost unreal. Marble floors gleam under the chandeliers. Walls adorned with gold and rare artworks reflect the glow of countless flickering lights. Inside, waiters in immaculate uniforms stand in perfect formation, greeting every guest with a silent nod. You step into the grand hall, and suddenly, you are no longer an outsider. At the center, a towering champagne fountain spills golden liquid in a never-ending cascade. The room is alive with conversation, low murmurs of billion-dollar deals, hushed negotiations, laughter that doesn't quite reach the eyes. A glance around the room reveals titans of industry, oil magnates, and shadowy figures whose wealth cannot be traced. Some speak of investments and political influence, others exchange whispers that hint at something far beyond the world of legitimate business. A discreet hand on your shoulder, a gesture. You are led toward a private chamber. The atmosphere shifts. The air is heavier here, charged with something intangible, something beyond luxury. Deals are being made, unspoken agreements, sealed with nothing more than a glance. Information, power, access. It is all being traded in a language only a select few understand. And then it hits you. This is not just a party. This is something else entirely. Every smile is calculated. Every handshake carries a price. You are not here simply to enjoy the wealth of the elite. You have just stepped into a game, one where money is power, and power is survival. This is what tonight's episode is about. We take you inside Dubai's most exclusive billionaire clubs, where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, where the rules of capitalism are rewritten behind closed doors, and where, if you are not careful, you can disappear just as quickly as you arrive. Everything you thought you knew about the world of the ultra-rich, forget it, because here, the real game is just beginning. The question is, can you survive it? You look around. The crystal chandeliers cast shimmering reflections across the room, turning the guests' faces into flickering silhouettes of wealth and mystery. This is no ordinary ballroom. It is an arena, an invisible battlefield where power is exchanged like currency. Here, money alone is not enough. To truly belong, you must understand the rules. A man approaches, his suit, perfectly tailored, his watch, a Patek Philippe, gleaming subtly under the golden light. He lifts his glass toward you, with a slight nod, offering a polite smile. Then, in a voice as smooth as the aged whiskey in his hand, he asks, "How is the latest Fed interest rate hike affecting your fund's positioning?" You hesitate. This is not small talk. This is a test. In this club, people do not discuss sports cars, mansions, or yachts. They discuss capital flows, government policies, and global markets. The real players do not talk about money in a straightforward way, because money is not their business. They deal in influence, information, and the future itself. And as you listen, you start to notice something. This club is not just one group of people. It is a hierarchy, with multiple layers. On the outermost layer are the newly rich, the ones with fortunes large enough to get through the door, but not enough to command real respect. They are still seeking alliances, still proving their worth. A little deeper inside, you find the true power brokers, oil magnates, tech giants, the masterminds behind hedge funds and private equity empires. Their conversations sound casual, but their words carry weight. A single remark from them can crash a nation's currency, send a company's stock soaring, or shift the direction of an entire industry. Their influence extends beyond business, touching the delicate strings of politics, policy, and international relations. But at the deepest level, there exists a circle that very few will ever enter. These are the men and women with no public profiles, no social media presence, no official titles. Their names rarely appear in news articles, yet their decisions ripple through economies, dictating which technologies will thrive, which industries will collapse, and even whether conflicts will begin or end. And then, you realize, everything happening here is a game, a raised glass, a silent proposal for an alliance, a lingering glance, the unspoken exchange of information, even where someone stands, who they are seen with, the route they take across the room. Every movement is deliberate, every detail is being observed, analyzed, and recorded. If you don't know the rules, you don't even have the right to lose. And so, you begin to understand, the real currency of this club is not wealth, it is power. Money can buy you entry, but to stay here, to survive here, you need something more. A piece of information no one else has. Access to resources that others crave. The ability to see 3 moves ahead, when everyone else is looking at the present. Or simply, a network of connections so valuable that others cannot afford to ignore you. Someone taps your shoulder. A small, gold-embossed invitation is placed in your hand. Tonight, a more exclusive gathering, only for the real players. Your pulse quickens. You glance down at the invitation, the weight of the paper heavier than it should be. You have a choice to make. Will you step further into the game, or walk away before it's too late? The elevator doors close with a soft hiss. The sounds of the grand party fade away, leaving only silence. You glance at the panel. The button for the top floor is glowing. This is not a place for ordinary guests. A soft chime. The elevator stops. The doors slide open, revealing a dimly lit room, far removed from the glittering chandeliers and flowing champagne downstairs. Here, there are no distractions, no unnecessary luxuries, just a long table, a handful of men and women, a faint haze of cigar smoke curling through the air, and money. More money than most people will ever see in their lifetime. On the table, sleek laptops display real-time market data, the latest Bitcoin fluctuations, the shifting values of luxury real estate in New York and London, anonymous accounts, moving millions, no, billions, in invisible transactions. This is not a casino, but the stakes are far, far higher. A man leans forward, pushing something across the table. A contract, $50 million. Are you in? This is how they play. This is how they win. A high-stakes game of capital. The people in this room are not just rich. They are architects of wealth. Real estate. A Middle Eastern magnate is secretly acquiring prime locations in London and New York, moving assets through offshore trusts to bypass taxes and regulations. NFTs and cryptocurrency. A European tech investor is quietly buying up failed NFT projects. He doesn't care about the art. He's waiting for the next market wave, when he and his partners will manufacture another speculative frenzy, selling at the peak before pulling the rug. Private equity. A shadowy investment fund is negotiating the takeover of a rising tech startup. But this isn't about innovation. It's about timing. They know government subsidies are coming, and they plan to cash out just as the public gets in. They are not betting on assets. They are betting on movements, shifts, and global events before they happen. And that is how they multiply their wealth, exponentially. Here, it's not about having money. It's about controlling it. Every move is a calculation. Every hesitation is a weakness. You watch as a man across the table signs a contract. Within minutes, a $300 million energy deal is locked in. At the same time, another investor silently closes his laptop. His face is unreadable, but you can feel it. He just lost $200 million. No one offers him sympathy, because here, there are only 2 outcomes: win or disappear. A rigged game, a controlled market. And then it dawns on you, this is not just about business. This is a war. A war where markets are not free. They are manipulated. Information is not neutral. It is filtered. The rules are not fair. They are designed for the winners. Most people believe in financial freedom. They think buying real estate is a safe investment. NFTs are the future of digital ownership. Early-stage startups are the best way to build wealth. But the truth, the real money is made by the ones who control the game. That golden real estate you invested in, they already knew how to devalue it before you even signed the papers. That NFT project you bought into, The price was inflated by a closed network of insiders who knew exactly when to sell that promising startup. The real investors got in long before you, and they'll be the ones cashing out, leaving you holding the risk. This is how the machine works. Do you dare to play? Because in this room, you are not just an observer. Someone leans in, their voice low. Your turn. A contract sits in front of you. A choice. A decision. Will you take the pen, or will you walk away? But one thing is certain. Once you enter this game, there is no way back. You've heard the rumors before. The stories about dirty money, tax havens, and shadowy transactions hidden deep within the global financial system. But rumors, they're often just the tip of the iceberg. Dubai, a dazzling golden city that seems like something out of a dream. The towering skyscrapers glisten in the sunlight. 7-star hotels echo with the sound of laughter and clinking glasses late into the night, while luxury yachts glide silently over the shimmering sea. But beneath the glittering surface, another economy is at work. It's a system that doesn't belong to the ordinary world. This place is one of the most complex financial safe havens in the world. Zero tax rates, multinational capital flows freely here, moving across borders without paying a single cent to any government. Anonymous accounts, private banks offer secret accounts that hide the true owners of wealth, ensuring that the origins of funds are impossible to trace. Free trade zones. Companies can be set up in hours, and money can be transferred across the globe instantly, leaving no trace behind. You might think that all of this is just a way for the wealthy to legally avoid taxes, but the reality is far deeper than you imagine. You walk into a private club with no sign, a place hidden from the world outside. The walls are bare, and heavy curtains block the sunlight. A long table, an untouched cup of coffee, and a transaction taking place. This money needs to be gone in 72 hours. The voice is low, calculated. This isn't a typical investor you're dealing with. This is a transaction about hidden wealth, money laundering. Illicit funds from around the world are funneled through virtual companies, cryptocurrencies, art auctions, and other channels to re-enter the legal financial system. Cross-border financial operations. Certain funds control politicians, corporations, and markets. They have the power to predict, or even manufacture, an economic crisis in order to profit from the chaos. Shadow banking. A network of private banks for the ultra-wealthy moves faster than government regulators, with rules that only a few can access. You start to realize something unsettling. This is no longer just a game about money. It's a game about power. You begin to wonder, is the distribution of wealth in the world really as fair as you once thought? Or has everything already been manipulated by a few? In Dubai, the bright side of wealth and its dark side are intertwined. Some accumulate riches through legitimate investments. Others use hidden methods to control power. How will you choose? How will you survive? Perhaps there's no turning back now. You've learned the survival rules of the Billionaire Club, discovered how to find a small crack in the fog of money and power. But the real test is just beginning. You thought you understood the game, that you could navigate it like they do, calm and collected. But as time passes, you begin to feel something unsettling. You're just a tiny pawn in this massive chess game. What once seemed like the success you dreamed of now starts to reveal its darker side. Every deal, every investment, is shrouded in complex exchanges of power and hidden agendas. You realize this isn't just a battle for wealth, it's a battle for humanity. Some betray their principles for money, acting with cold indifference. Some lose themselves in the game of power, becoming tools in someone else's hands. Here, everyone faces a choice: either become one of them, claim your share, or be ruthlessly cast aside, left to fade into oblivion. You've come this far, and there's no easy way back. Now, you must decide: continue down this path, becoming part of this world of temptation and traps, or walk away, risking everything in the process. In this game with no rules, who will survive until the end? Who will come out as the true victor? And where do you fit into this world? At this moment, it dawns on you, this is no longer just a battle for wealth. This is a struggle of humanity, belief, and morality. Can you make it out alive? If you were in this game, what would you do? Would you continue forward, becoming one of them? Or would you choose to leave it all behind, walking away from the temptation and the danger? Tell me in the comments. What would your choice be? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. This episode ends here. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget